against me. You think it's yours to make, but you're wrong. There's nowhere to run, no place you can go, nowhere you can hide, where you won't be found. There's no way on up, hell would have to freeze over twice before I would let you go.
And welcome to our review of the 2011 DTM series. 18 drivers from 9 different nations, including the 2 girls. A new one this year, Rahal Frey joining Susie Stoddard. Then we got Felipe Albuquerque, Renger van der Zande, Eduardo Mortara and Christian Vitoris. Most of the regulations unchanged for this season, but new was the Hankook tyres. They'd taken over from Dunlop. The calendar comprised of 10 races in 5 different nations, plus a special event in the Munich stadium. And it all started at Hockenheim, but one man was missing. Paul di Resta, the reigning champion, had moved on to Formula One. The regular Hockenheim Grand Prix circuit, traditional start to the season at the start of May. Looking down there on the track. So 18 cars, 9 Mercedes and 9 Audis. Bruno Spengler there looking good at the start of the season. The man who came so close the previous year, remember, just pipped to the championship at the final round by di Resta. Matthias Ekstrom starting the season well. The Swede with over a decade of racing in the DTM series. Gary Paffett made this little error in qualifying, put him on the back foot for the start of the season. Nico Rosberg, there he is, came to see what it was all about. Another Formula One driver. Let's see the start. Spengler makes a good start. Ekstrom tries hard. Mike Rockenfeller dropped back in his Audi. One of the surprises, Martin Tomczyk, was going well. Tomczyk demoted from the top Audi squad for 2011 to one of the older type cars. Let's see that start again. Albuquerque starting on the grass. The young Portuguese driver came to prominence by winning the Race of Champions in the winter. But that is Martin Tomczyk just going past Maro Engel. Paffett, of course, trying to make up some time from P13 after his problem in qualifying. Ralf Schumacher was going well here. Ralf in his 4th season of DTM racing. Here battling for 2nd place. This was the Tomczyk pit stop. And this is something we saw a couple of times. The fuel dump can stuck on the Audi, but then it fell off. Fortunately not in the line. Oh, well, it was in the line of the cars. And it was finally retrieved by this marshal. Wonder if he got to keep that as a trophy. Timo Scheider in the white car, former champion, pushing very hard to Ralf Schumacher. Ralf defending well here.
Well, it was a pretty tough race. I made some mistakes and luckily I just got it in, basically. And I'm pretty happy for the team after so many races, so many years, to be finally on the podium.
Yeah, Ralf Schumacher took 3rd place at Hockenheim. Ekstrom was 2nd. Spengler, the winner. So Spengler started the season in grand style and was a happy man as he flung himself onto the bonnet of the car.
It was a great race. I was so happy with my car. My start wasn't great. I had a bit of wheel spin. Matthias did a great start, but I managed to stay in front of him. But like I said, thank you to my team. My car was really great this weekend. I'm so happy about this victory.
Yeah, and the bubbly sprayed there on the podium. So, first race victory to Ralph. On then to Zandvoort for round 2. Middle weekend in May. The Dutch circuit in the dunes. Temperature was around 14. And Bruno Spengler, fresh off his victory in round 1, put it on the pole. Was a local hero here, of course. Renger van der Zande. There they are, up in the dunes. Renger, the man they were cheering for. He qualified P11. There he is. Got a big fan following in Holland. Former F3 driver. Here's the start. Spengler got a great start. Jamie Green. He dropped back after qualifying well. And look at Rockenfeller. Rockenfeller in second place. Look at Martin Tomczyk, who'd finished 5th at the opening round. And there's Tomczyk, wheel to wheel with Timo Scheider. Martin Tomczyk lost a bit of weight over the winter. Here was the first round of pit stops.
I only heard one spit very quickly and very close to the last corner, so I wasn't sure. And normally when I didn't hear clearly, I don't answer. And when I hear clearly, I say yes, I confirm. But this time I didn't confirm because I didn't hear clearly. I just heard very short pits, and that's why I didn't stop.
Yeah, Spengler not stopping on the lap he was expected to. Heard him explaining what happened, but it certainly compromised his race. And here Rockenfeller comes in. This is his second stop. Remember, the DTM calls for 2 pit stops in each race. Here's van der Zande heading home to 13th place. Rocky out in the lead. Martin Tomczyk battling with Jamie Green. And Tomczyk gets past Green.
I came out after the second pit stop in a very good position. I had a good pace at that time, could catch Jamie and could overtake him. I came close to Bruno at the end of the race, but the race was a bit too soon over for me.
Yeah. It was Mike Rockenfeller in his 44th attempt, winning his first DTM win.
It's hard to say because I didn't expect the speed today in the race. I have to say the team did a great job. The car was fantastic to drive.
This was Jamie Green's trip into the gravel. Battling with Martin Tomczyk.
We run so many races and sometimes we lose. We have had 13 since the beginning of last year, won 10 of them. All in all, we should have had a little bit better speed, but that's happening sometimes.
So, after the 2 races, 18 points to Spengler, 10 to Rockenfeller, Tomczyk third with 10, and Ekstrom had 9. For round 3, we had a new track. Well, not exactly a new track, because the A1 ring, as it used to be called, now the Red Bull ring, has been reopened. The DTM used to race here, and it was great to be back in the mountains of Austria. Qualifying affected by the rain, and look at that man, Martin Tomczyk, on the pole in front of a big sellout crowd here in Austria. Right, Rockenfeller going wide at the start, Albuquerque as well. Another man who was catching people's attention was Eduardo Mortara. He was proving to be the fastest rookie. There is Spengler. Spengler down the inside of Paffett, his teammate. Disastrous stop hindered Matthias Ekstrom. What's that? See, the wheel wasn't on properly, and that was the end of his race. Hockenfeller in the lead, albeit briefly, battling with Jamie Green. Ralf Schumacher into the pits. Looks as if it was a good strategic stop. This is Spengler's second and final pit stop. V8 470 brake horsepower engines. Remember, this is the last year for these space frame cars. David Coulthard in 9th place with his second year of the DTM. There's Martin Tomczyk though, with Schumacher chasing him. Oliver Jarvis there in 3rd place. Spengler 4th. So Martin Tomczyk wins, and he's celebrated with the donuts in the older 2008 design car.
We had a small strategy. I knew that I was on new tires as well the other drivers. So for me, I just got the chance at the beginning when I win the start. I just push for 10 laps, really treat the tire hard to get a gap. That happened, and the following things are just normal race business.
And Ralf Schumacher having an outstanding race in his Salzgitter Mercedes.
When you have the speed and you don't achieve it, and you're always a bit disappointed. I think the team said over the radio, you know, we want to win the race, just push. But you're always pushing, you give your best, and especially on this track, we were all so close together, and towards the end, yes, it got a bit closer, but overtaking is a different story.
The Audi crew celebrate the bubbly. And Martin Tomczyk's father was in tears. So now it was Spengler still at the top, but Tomczyk had closed in with 20 points. Rockenfeller 3rd. Round 4 at the Lausitzring in what used to be Eastern Germany, using a part of the oval track. Impressive grandstands. Spengler on the pole, but now was facing a challenge in the championship from Tomczyk. What would happen here? There's Martin relaxing before the start. Spengler, his 3rd pole in 4 races. Saw Susie Stoddard. She had problems before the start, never made it. Bruno Spengler, good start into that very tight left-hander. Jamie Green in 2nd place. Let's look down. And look at Martin Tomczyk flying again. Great pass there. There's a view from Jamie Green's car. Ekstrom's pit stop. But again, we see a can getting stuck. Fortunately, it fell off in the pit lane. Tomczyk coming in. Has he gained enough time to take over the lead? Out he blasts, and will he be in front of Spengler? Yes, he is. Excellent pit stop and strategy from the Phoenix team, run by Ernst Moser. There's Timo Scheider's pit stop, and he rejoins ahead of Spengler. He was certainly happy with that stop, as we hear.
The guys did an awesome strategy, and I just did what they asked me, and they asked me quite often for faster lap times, and I was pushing from the beginning to the end. I did more or less a qualifying race, and it worked out. We took a different strategy to all the others. In the end, to be on the podium is a great feeling after such a strange beginning of the season.
But the checkered flag had fallen for Martin Tomczyk, his 6th DTM win, but 2nd in a row.
At the moment, I'm leading the championship, and I have to say, it feels really good. It feels really, really good. So therefore, I keep pushing and see where we are in the next race. But for now, I'm absolutely happy.
Bruno Spengler finishing ahead of Gary Paffett and Oliver Jarvis in third place.
You cannot be really disappointed in DTM when you finish third. It's a tough series, everything is so close together, so could have been worse. Also, we have to concentrate for the future, for the next races, and try and do better there. But today, 6 important points for the rest of the championship.
Again, the bubbly sprays. And team boss Ernst Moser, he was absolutely over the moon. There he is with a trophy. Next, the famous street race of the Norisring in Nürburgring. Always a huge crowd here. The race that Jamie Green had won for the past 3 seasons. But he didn't win it in 2011. There's Christina Sura, partner to Martin Tomczyk. Let's check out the race then. Tomczyk qualifying down in 10th place. And Bruno Spengler was on the pole. So the pendulum was swinging back his way. Difficult conditions in the wet. Remember, Tomczyk 3 points ahead. There's Engel going wide, 3 points ahead of Spengler in the championship going into this race. Here's the Tomczyk pit stop. Tomczyk rejoining ahead of Scheider. So after the pit stops, amazingly, Tomczyk had jumped up to third place. Good battle between Ekstrom and Green. Green maybe not winning this for a 4th straight year, but he was right in the hunt. There's Oliver Jarvis.
He got ahead of me with a little bit of door rubbing through the chicane, but it was okay, it was fair. He came out on top from the chicane, but then he locked the brakes at the next corner and went wide, so I was able to get inside at the last corner and get the place back. So it was a good fight, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's what we just saw. Here's Ekstrom coming out after his second pit stop, having that great battle with Green. Let's hear from the Audi boss.
After the pit stops, he just was unlucky with the point of pit stops that he came with the new starting rain into the area where he couldn't get temperature into completely new tires.
Disaster for Gary Paffett. Into the wall, big time. Let's just see, locked up, bang. They think something broke.
We need to investigate. He had a steering problem and crashed into the wall. Otherwise, I think we would have had a very good chance to be 1, 2, 3. He was lying second at that stage. So sorry for him. It was not our intention, but we need to investigate what happened.
Yeah, it wasn't been a good season for Gary Paffett. Meanwhile, the rain was coming down even stronger. Safety car deployed by race control. And then out came the red flag. Winner, Spengler.
It was a really difficult race today. The conditions were very tough at the beginning also. Thanks to the race directors, they did the right decisions today with the safety car at the right moment and helped us really. How they did was really good. And thanks to my team also, my car was amazing in the race. Even in these hard conditions, the strategy was really good. Everything worked well, so I'm really happy of this victory.
Yeah, Bruno Spengler now on top of the points table again. Tomczyk second, Timo Scheider third. Look at Spengler celebrating with the moonwalk. Great result for Eduardo Mortara, finished 5th. On then to the mid-season non-points counting Munich show event. This new on the schedule. No one quite sure exactly what to expect, but there was a fine crowd here. The stadium just across the way from BMW, who would be announcing their entry into the DTM in 2012. There was plenty of bands playing. So, let's check out that BMW story. It was at the BMW World, very close to the stadium. And BMW unveiling the M3 DTM car.
It's a fantastic race car. I think when I saw it for the first time, my heart was really beating. And yeah, great job from everybody involved in the development of that car.
And two drivers of the lineup, which will be 6, announced: Andy Priaulx and Augusto Farfus of Brazil. And Andy was certainly happy about the new involvement.
To be involved with it right at the beginning is a real honour. And well, I've always looked and followed DTM, and it's been a formula that I've been very fond of for a long time. From my Formula 3 days, that was my ambition. So when BMW announced they were coming into DTM, I must say I had a big smile on my face. And I mean, the car looks fantastic. It's really a pleasure to drive.
So what were the hopes of the BMW boss Jens Marquardt?
The goal is definitely to be competitive from the get-go. Yeah, this is the target. We know that the benchmark is very high. Mercedes and Audi are doing a fantastic job there. They are really on a very, very high level. We know they have an advantage with regards to the experience they have there, and our people are very motivated to come up and match that level as soon as we can.
Yeah, Andy. And we know that BMW, when they take on a major race series, are always serious. So what happened in the arena? Bruno Spengler did well, spraying the champagne. For him, it was a shame that there were no points. Let's check out the quarter-finals. Yeah, Green versus Spengler, that was one of the best battles. Look at this, pit stops happening together, but Jamie Green got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
It's a shame. Obviously, I had a good race with Bruno. Yesterday was close. I lost by 0.3. Today I was ahead, but I've got this penalty for 5 seconds, which is quite a big penalty, so obviously that puts me out.
Here was another good battle in this head-to-head contest, Martin Tomczyk and Christian Vitoris. Vitoris also dovetailing his DTM racing in with the GP2 season. Vitoris wins it. And what about Matthias Ekstrom? Well known for doing particularly well in stadium events like the Race of Champions, but he got a somewhat unfair penalty.
I thought I was just wanting to warm up my brakes as much as possible, and I was spinning the wheels a bit. I mean, it's a show event, so I think if I do a lot of show and get disqualified for this, it's okay.
Yeah, it was just a 2-second penalty. What about this head-to-head? Coulthard versus Mortara. And bang into the barrier went David Coulthard. Quite a bit of damage. Let's see it again. Coulthard had been very good in former Race of Champions style events. So the two semi-finals, Van der Zande and Mortara, 2 rookies, Spengler and Vitoris. So 3 rookies in the top 4. And that was close. Mortara the winner. And look at these great shots. See how close the walls are. There's the pit stop. Spengler versus Vitoris. Vitoris has been racing in GP2. That led to a final. Mortara versus Spengler. Mortara had won the Saturday event, which was for the makes, and was trying to make it 2 out of 2. And really pushing hard. Oh, and there's Norbert Haug. So Mortara just understeering into the barrier. clipped him, spun him round, and then bang.
I did this stupid mistake because at the end, it's a stupid mistake. I wanted to close the gap with him, and it was just too much.
So it was Bruno Spengler who took the big trophy and gave us the thumbs up.
Eduardo was really, really strong the whole weekend. My teammates also were strong, were very strong. I think it was it was very hard for us drivers. It's completely different than anything else.
Back then to familiarity and the Nürburgring. Conditions often change a lot here, but it was a dry day, 17 degrees C. Again, the DTM proving how popular it is with spectators. 84,000 was the crowd. Ekstrom had a fairly terrible start to the season, but things were coming back his way now on the pole. It's been 15 months since he won a race. That was back in Valencia in 2010. Great getaway from Ekstrom. Jamie Green from second place dropped back. Rockenfeller and Spengler went past him. Tomczyk started 7th. Torres had a spin. Tomczyk then dropped back to 8th. There's Timo Scheider on board with him. This is a replay of the start, and Coulthard pushed out wide by Ralf Schumacher. The two Grand Prix veterans, and then Coulthard spinning Schumi around. New nose for David Coulthard's car. Coulthard had scored 1 point at the Norisring, so he had got onto the championship table. Tomczyk against Mortara here. Rockenfeller having another good race. Remember, he won at Zandvoort, but locking up here, going straight on, and that helped Spengler.
Well, for sure Bruno was quite a bit faster than me. I was struggling with the car, but nevertheless I should have not made the mistake 2 laps to the end. I was struggling a lot with the car, and I tried to shift the brake bias more and more to the front to save the rear tires, and then I locked up.
The Audi crew disappointed with that. Ekstrom the winner from Spengler, Rockenfeller, Scheider. Tomczyk was 5th.
Starting from 4th, I think it was difficult to do much better. My car was great today. I had really an amazing car. Unfortunately, I couldn't show the complete potential. I was a bit held up by Mike, which did a great job not doing any mistakes until the end, but I think it was also quite tough for him.
And there's Ekstrom's celebratory donut. So Ekstrom was back in the speed.
When I started the year, I thought we will have a good one. First race was okay, then we had 4 horrible ones. And now again to win, sure, it means a lot, not only for me, also for my guys in my team.
Champagne sprayed, Spengler was still leading the championship. On then to the famous Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. Racing in bright sunshine in qualifying. But then on race day the rains came down, typical English summer day. Mike Rockenfeller was on the pole. Special footwear for some. On the front row with him, Gary Paffett. Gary hoping for a good result here. Martin Tomczyk would start from 3rd place. Meanwhile, championship rival Bruno Spengler would start 8th. He actually qualified in 6th position, but there was a mess up with some tyres, so he started 8th. Trying to get some grip and traction into Paddock Hill Bend. Rockenfeller got away well. Rocky in the lead. Ekstrom made a brilliant start. From 5th to 2nd place. Mortara also made a great start. Made up 4 places. Paffett, Green and Schumacher all went backwards. Hardly see through the rain. And that was Mortara trying hard, but Tomczyk goes by him in the yellow and green car. Spengler was back in a disappointing 8th. Just saw Molina there, the Spaniard in his 2nd season. There's Tomczyk passing Rockenfeller. Trip into the gravel for Jamie Green. There we see it again. And he slipped back down the field. See a replay here. Ekstrom's excellent pass on Rockenfeller. Rocky, remember, had survived a huge crash at Le Mans, and in fact had missed the race at Lausitzring, his place taken by Tom Christensen there. Still rain on the lens. And then Rocky having a spin in the battle with Schumacher.
Ralph turned me around, and yeah, you know, it can happen, but in my opinion still he should get a penalty for that.
Yeah, Rocky not happy. See what happened here, Ralph. Just into the rear wheel. Bruno Spengler not happy with his setup at all for the rain. Was not making much progress.
For myself, I just tried to stay on track and be consistent, make no mistakes. That's what happened. I was not the quickest, but I didn't do mistakes. And this was important today. I scored 2 points. And I'm looking forward to the last 3 races.
Yeah, he scored 2 points, but his arch rival in the championship got the maximum and went to the top of the standings again. So, happiness there. Meanwhile, let's hear from Gary Paffett about his home race.
I'm really disappointed because I was second on the grid. I mean, any race, if this happens, it's pretty disappointing. So I'm normally pretty quick in the wet, and we normally have a good car in the wet, but today we just weren't quick enough.
Meanwhile, one man who was quick enough was Martin Tomczyk.
It's a great feeling. I mean, winning that hard race, it was cool. It was nice to see some Audis in the rearview mirror. Anyhow, we keep it really tough to the end, and I keep on fighting.
And on the podium for the first time, Edo Mortara, the rookie. Martin Tomczyk's victory was his 7th out of 110 races. We talked about the new BMW, but now it was time to unveil the new Mercedes and Audis. This was the IAA show in Frankfurt. There's the wraps coming off the Mercedes. Michael Schumacher unveiling it. It's always exciting to look at a new car and see them being unveiled, says Michael. And this was the first run of the Mercedes. Gary Paffett doing the honours at Lausitz. Here's the Audi, based on the A5 rather than the A4. I like this new car a lot. The A5 is a really fine car, and I think it suits the DTM very well. And BMW took the wraps off their car again, and we're getting some good testing in. All that happening before Oschersleben. Of course, it was back to the old cars here. And it was drama again for Bruno Spengler.
things like that happen. We are 9 points behind, 2 races to go, but we certainly will not give up. We still have the chance. We stay positive and we keep on fighting.
Yeah, so let's unravel what happened there at Oschersleben. Bruno Spengler, remember, had dropped points at Brands Hatch, and he needed a good result here, but Martin Tomczyk, who came into this race with just 1 point over his rival, had an excellent race, although he had not qualified well. Tomczyk started from 14th place and was under pressure in the wet as cars spun at the start, under pressure to try and get some points on the board. So a second wet race in succession. On board with Spengler. Spengler and Ekstrom, with Ekstrom in the lead. Ekstrom looking for his second successive victory. Timo Scheider retired. He'd been quick, but no points. A frustrated former champion. Gary Paffett running in second place prior to his pit stop. Suddenly the bonnet went off the car of Tomczyk.
Under these conditions you need quite a lot of luck in the first 2 laps, and I had it definitely, and that was the key for the race. I guess after the first lap I was 6th position, so it was really good for me.
But here's the point where Spengler perhaps lost the championship. Look at his car bouncing around there. Spengler clouting the chicane hard, and that broke a shock absorber. We are probably never to know if it was actually a defective part, but that compromised his race very badly. The handling went away and Spengler was out.
The luck was not on our side. That's what I always say in motorsports. There is another factor. There is a lot of luck factor, and today the luck was definitely not with us. But anyway, you know, there's 2 races to go, and there's no more question now. It's maximum attack.
Ekstrom 1 was Spengler's championship slipping away from him. And a huge 40-second advantage over his closest rival. Look at the points after that race. Tomczyk with 9 over Spengler. Ekstrom just in with a chance still. Penultimate race in sunny Spain in Valencia. And indeed, the temperature was 27 degrees. Martin Tomczyk trying to keep cool, but the pressure on the tall Bavarian. And he was only 10th fastest in qualifying. Maybe the pressure was starting to get to him. There's his main rival in the championship, Bruno Spengler, but he would only start in 12th place. So the championship would be decided here if Tomczyk could get 2 more points than Spengler. Ekstrom certainly was on a roll. He was on pole position again. Remember at the start of the season he had a bit of a problem with a damaged hand right at the beginning of the year. The circuit Ricardo Tormo, not the street track used for the Formula 1 racing, but interesting challenge. Running anti-clockwise at this track, which is pretty unusual. The Portuguese driver Felipe Albuquerque, who knew the track well, was in second place early on, and well up with Coulthard and Van der Zande, who timed their qualifying just right, but there was a possible technical infringement with the wing hanging over them. Timo Scheider moved up well. Spengler was there behind Oliver Jarvis. Wasn't looking too good for the French-Canadian. So Ekstrom in the lead again. There is Albuquerque going well. Tomczyk working his way up the field. And of course helped a little bit by his Audi teammates. And a victory then for Ekstrom. Albuquerque second, Tomczyk third. And as you saw on the board, Tomczyk was the champion. His team boss was happy.
I'm really happy. A dream is reality now, and we're working so hard. 10 years now, 11 years, and now we have the title, and we are happy.
Yeah, there he is, standing aloft on the car, winning the championship in one of the older cars. And what a season Martin Tomczyk had, and a very popular winner too. This is what he had to say.
Unbelievable. First of all, I for sure have to realize it. It's a feeling I never had so far. So thank you to all. I think it's too many when I count them. It's unbelievable. First I have to come down a bit, realize it. And then I'm new champion of DTM 2011, and it feels really good.
Well, nobody would have bet on Martin Tomczyk at the start of the season. Remember, he'd been demoted to the Phoenix team, one of the satellite organisations for Audi. But poor Bruno Spengler had led the championship for a second year most of the way. And here, Audi had scored a 1-2-3.
Congratulations to Martin. He's done an excellent job this year with his team together. He was very quick the whole season, and he had always points at every race. And as I said, in DTM, it's nearly impossible to win a championship with 0 points at one race.
And then Martin got this dunking. Felt pretty wet after that. What a way to celebrate. And a beer too. So to the final race of the season at Hockenheim, and the last for the space frame cars. They move on to the new all carbon fibre chassis cars for 2012. 3 manufacturers rather than 2. And yes, it was that man who celebrated at the end, Jamie Green. But let's see how he did it. Been a great season for Audi. Let's see this 4-way split here. And there you see the fireworks at the end. Jamie Green taking the checkered flag. His best race of the season. Martin Tomczyk finished second, and Miguel Molina, after what had been a difficult year, took his first podium finish. Excellent conditions on Sunday and a massive crowd. But once again, there was plenty of grip from the Hankooks. Bit of an incident down there. Jarvis forcing Spengler to the outside. Here's Spengler's view of that incident. And Bruno was still fighting for second place in the championship against Ekstrom. That was the significance of what you saw. There, Ekstrom passing at Timo Scheider. That was for 6th place.
It was a tough year, but it was a pretty good year for me. I've been first Mercedes overall the season, and I tried really hard to get the title for Mercedes. I was the only one who had a possibility for Mercedes to win the championship. So it was a pretty good season for me. Good start, 2 wins, 4 pole positions. A bit unlucky at the end.
Yeah, unlucky at the end, but 72 to Tomczyk, 52 to Ekstrom, 51 to Spengler, finishes 3rd. and they celebrated with multiple synchronized donuts. Let's hear from Martin again.
I'm really happy. I mean, that was a great day today. Finishing the DTM with the second place now in the race. It's just unbelievable. The crowds are really good. I think we gave them quite some nice show after the race. So I'm really happy, and it's nice to go like that into the winter break.
For sure, I'm very happy about this season, and especially as well for the last race of the year. We could make it to be on second place in the championship, and we could make to win the team championship after we had already done the championship driver's title in Valencia. Therefore, I think it's an optimum result from Audi, and I'm very proud about all the people working for us.
Yeah, last year Mercedes had dominated. This year it was Audi who took the big trophy. So the end of an era. Here are the new cars. Amongst the BMW lineup will be Bruno Spengler. But from me, Andrew Marriott, that's about it for this season. Thanks for joining us. See you again next year.